And we are live. We are live. Oh, I can't hear you. What happened? Start from the yeah.
All right.
Ayo, it's time to go. Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on.
Woo-wee. Welcome to What Happens When a Mother and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense.
Plus more.
Episode 57. I'm just going to have to give a shout out to you, Nathan. You created that song, and you also created my reality spirituality song. And I love your creations, and that song is bomb. We even get praises and hearts from Noon Vibe. Welcome on Noon Vibe. If you're listening, you could always ask to join the stage. And we are also live on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. But I love your theme songs.
Yeah, thank you for that. I was thinking about our theme song and then our your reality spirituality theme song, and just just getting right into the transcendence of it all. But one of the stories is I've got to upgrade that song, I've got to upgrade this song, I've got to change it, I got to make it better, and or I could just chill and let the song, have fun with the song the way it is. If it changes in the future or not, and it does get me moving. I like the sound of both of those songs, and it was co-created by you too. I mean, I did the technical things, but we collabed on both of those songs.
Well, let me say this, and just getting off right off the bat, my ego, Rebecca, is never satisfied. There is always something that needs to be tweaked, or something needs to be altered, something needs to be adjusted. Rebecca is never satisfied, and as I've said before, I am distancing myself from Rebecca more and more and more. I mean, I've had a life of dissatisfaction, of wanting something to happen that doesn't happen. All of that, I'm done with it. I'm identifying with my higher self awareness, as Moji says, formlessness. That's who I'm identifying. That's who I'm practicing identifying with.
Yeah, well said. All that. I'm just going to jump on the same page, because it is a life of dissatisfaction, of looking for something that's wrong. It doesn't even matter what it is. Someone else, myself, the cats, the situation, the past, the future.
Don't
And
forget
my
your
thing,
don't forget your mother.
oh, well, we can never forget your mother. There's a plethora of things to critique and criticize there. No offense, but and where I'm at today, and this just hit me a couple days ago, is this perfectionism thing, which is also a story, but it's really not perfectionism. It's really not trying to be perfect. It's, again, just finding things to be dissatisfied with and wrong and be obsessed with, and really, it just, the reason I know it's not quite a fit is that I don't feel at peace. I don't feel surrendered. I don't feel, love energy, peaceful energy. It feels tight. It feels stressful. It feels harmful. And I want to move into these next few days and this year with really letting go of this storyline of something has to look a certain way. It has to look perfect in my ego's eyes, because it never will. I mean, it's like chasing I don't know. We talk about a carrot. It's like dangling a carrot in front of us that's attached to something that we'll just never catch.
And again, not only looking perfect, but feeling, even the feelings.
Mm.
And I'm done with judging my feelings and preferring a certain feeling. Well, I'd rather feel like this. How about just accepting? How about practicing accepting all the feelings without making a judgment as to this feeling needs to change, this feeling needs to be different? How about accepting all of it? Can I get there? I mean, I'm 69 years old. Can I get there?
I mean, if not now, when? You know what I'm saying? And listen, I know we jump right in. And if you are new to us, this is what we do. We talk about spirituality, we talk about our relationship and how our relationship has transcended. And she's grown individually, spiritually, and I have too. And we've also grown together, which led us to doing this show at the time that we're doing it. And that's what we roll with. We usually have a word of the day. And I picked a word that on the coattails of your word last week, which was transcend. This isn't a complicated word, but it is a spiritual word, and it is flow. FLOW. And some of the dictionary definitions are an action or process of moving steadily and continuously in one direction, a smooth and uninterrupted movement or current, to move or cause to move steady, continuous, to occur to proceed smoothly. So the spiritual definition is, and this is short too, refers to a state of being fully present and in harmony with life, where actions or thoughts feel effortless and align with one's higher purpose. It involves surrendering control and experiencing peace, connectedness, and a sense of unity
Okay.
with the universe.
No.
Were you having problems flowing while I was reading that?
Maybe I was. Maybe I
Maybe I
was. I mean,
was.
this is only a 45-minute show.
I was talking fast, and that's all I need to say about that.
But and again, we joke, you zing me, I zing you, and it's all in fun. All in fun.
That's right. I would do practice it all being in fun.
By the way, if you're listening on Noon Vibe, feel free to join the stage. And we are live on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. And also like and subscribe, like and subscribe. And I'm waiting for Voss Water to contact me. Voss Water, the better and wetter water.
Well, I haven't. I'm a little bitter, but I do have two possible sponsors, and they're Mushroom Coffee. And I would love to hear, anyone that's listening, if you have a recommendation for Mushroom Coffee. One is called Lucid, and the other is Everyday Dose. I've tried them both, and to be quite honest, they're great, and I can't really tell the difference.
Well, you know what you'd say that, Nathan? I forgot to tell you that when I got my hair colored a couple of weeks ago, she had a mushroom coffee from Whole Foods and it was delicious.
And did it taste like coffee or a little different, or would
It
you?
tasted it tasted very wholesome, very hearty. I enjoyed it immensely. Now for
Well,
my word of the day. My word of the day is vacillate. To vacillate. That means to be indecisive, to go back and forth, to hesitate and or waver, to hesitate between courses or opinions, to be unable to choose. Vacillate. Have you heard that word before?
I have, but I don't use it often, and I could see myself using it a lot. Very applicable.
To be certain, to be uncertain what to do, or to change between two opinions. And I want to say, can I give a shout out and a high five to vacillating? Because this world, this program world says, well, what are you going to decide? Your word. You already said you gave your word. How about can I just vacillate between the moments and go by my inspiration and how I'm feeling in the moment? I don't know. And being quote unquote wishy-washy or wavering back and forth, who's up here saying that that's a bad thing? How about I can just feel, how about I can just make a decision in the moment, and if I want to change my mind, that's okay too.
Well, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I mean, as an obsessive vacillator and a vacillator over many years, I really have labeled myself indecisive, and it carried a lot of shame around it, a lot of frustration around it, wanting it to be different, wanting me to do something different. And what I've come to, that's worked for me to bring me a little bit more peace is if I do feel myself vacillating back and forth, and I feeling that urge to decide something immediately. I've got to decide now. But the decision is not clear for whatever reason. I try to let it go and ask myself, do I really need to decide this right here, right now? And if I can wait a day, I'll wait a day. If I wait a week, or maybe I wait 10 minutes and then come back to it. It's just all about bringing me more peace. And just like you said, I'm going to decide something in this moment and just know that I can decide something else in another moment.
Yes. I remember that you were vacillating. I asked you if you want to and you know, you class, and you vacillated.
Oh, it's
I
coming in a little staticky. Hold on, maybe just go back to what you were. Okay, now it's clear. Now it's smooth.
okay,
So you were
okay.
saying you remember when?
It was a bad joke, and I don't even feel like repeating it. It was a zinger on you when it took you 3 months to give me an answer. But
Oh,
whether or not you want to come and the universe works, it was a horrible joke, and then I get in my face too.
well, that was perfect.
Is it
Now I
going
can
back
see
and
why.
forth again?
Yes, well, I can see why it went a little staticky just at the end too. I could see why the universe was trying to cut you off with technical difficulties. That's very interesting. It's okay. Not every joke's gonna
The
be
universe is chosen.
yeah. What?
I was going to say the universe is on your side this morning.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yes, yes. I have a scenario that this was on Facebook, and I want to run this by you. It was a real event. This mother was in at Disneyland, and she was standing in line, and she had a backpack on her back, and then someone behind her was a kid. She said it was a child. When I say child, a young teenager, maybe 12, 13, 14 years old, and this girl behind her kept bumping into her, and she said she bumped it into her 8 times, 8 times. And her question was, what would you do? Finally she turned around and to ask the girl to step back, and she turned around right when the girl, and she saw the girl had her backpack unzipped, the little pockets. So the girl was rummaging through her backpack, trying to steal something, and she caught her right in the act with her hands inside her backpack. And then there were about 9 kids, and then the mother, or the lady that was in charge of these hooligans, or one hooligan at least, perpetrator, uh, the girl, the 14-year-old or 13-year-old, told her, I didn't do anything. She just asked me to step back. I didn't do anything. And so this lady on Facebook is asking, what would you have done?
Which one, as the mother of the person that was stealing, or the person that was getting bumped into?
The mother that was getting ripped off and getting bumped into.
Got it. Got it.
She asked, what would your reaction be? And then I said, the second time I'm bumped, I would have taken action to either move or turn around and face the perpetrator. And I would have definitely told the mother what happened. Then I would have notified the park police immediately. This type of behavior will continue unless someone stops it.
Oh my God. Why do you always have to have some legal ass response? I mean, yours is the most legal response I've ever heard, which is actually, the quote unquote right thing to do. I mean, it's very clear, calculated. You tell the park, what did you say? The park police?
The park police immediately. And
That
yes,
is so funny. Well, listen, I mean, you have a whole history and a whole, breadth of experience in this area. So that is as far as having no emotion and not getting caught up in vacillating, should I have told her this and told her this, and dealing with all that mess that comes with humans interacting and trying to solve problems, to me that response is very just calculated, clear business. It's not emotion. We're just taking care of business.
Well, I have to say that Rebecca was triggered by this woman who let this perpetrator bump her 8 times. And then so the lady that asked for what are your thoughts, the lady that, the one that was getting her stuff stolen out of her backpack, then she responded to me. And she said, at the very least, I should have alerted. She said, yes, at the very least, I should have alerted the staff, but I didn't see anybody nearby. And I definitely turned around a few times. I was just so much in shock to find her hands in my bag the last time. I was in a state of, did this just happen? Now, Rebecca is bothered by that response. What a weak,
That's a very human, relatable response. I mean, listen, you can say, what would you do if a fire is burning, fire burning your house, flood watch, tornado? I would go over to the receiver and call, and then go here and then go here. In the moment, it's emotions, it's crazy. We don't expect someone to be stealing things out of our backpack, especially at Disneyland. So I understand that if you're out there listening, I'm the human voice. I'm not as transcended as my mother here. So I'm here to tell you it's relatable. I feel like I'd be saying the same thing. This is what I would do. I would also turn around, with my passive aggressive energy, like, hey, what are you doing back here? Stop bumping me. Then I imagine myself saying something, asking, trying to be nice. Can you please step back? And then if I know that they're stealing from me, or it's not stopping, I might consider getting out of the line and leaving the ride and just going somewhere else, not contacting Parks Authority, not, reporting anybody. I'm leaving. I'm not involved. I'm done. I don't want to ride this dumb ride anyway. And why am I sitting here, with, as you call it, the perpetrator, attacking me? I would just remove myself.
well, and there are people like you and the mother, and that's why the world is in this state. And so now this little perpetrator is going to do it again and again and again. And so I responded to this weak, and this is all tongue in cheek, to this weak response from this mother who, well, I didn't see anybody in there. I responded for the last time, even more clear. You mentioned you were bumped 8 times. That's way too many times to wait to take action. Finding the park authority police is a priority. Keep looking until you find security. Get out of line if you have to. Take a photo of the perpetrator. And finally, think about what you're teaching your children how to handle the same situation. This person will do it again. I don't mean to be so blunt, but that's me. Love you.
Wow, you're very, we really need to dig a little bit deeper, because it sounds like you're a justice, a justice warrior, drop everything. You have a responsibility to justice. You have a responsibility to uphold, your citizenship, and take care of the community. And you saw it, now which I think there's a lot of validity to that. I want to say one thing I would add to me is I would let this girl know that they were seen by me stealing from me. Just so you know, I did witness. You were witnessed by me. And what you do with that is all up to you.
Ooh, that's scary.
I'm not
Ooh.
I'm not trying to scare her like you are. You're trying to walk around here scaring everybody. And I mean, I've got 35 years of being scared by you. So until I finally call it quits. So, but
Well,
yeah, I'm
at
not.
least at least 4 years you haven't been scared because you're 39. So you said 35. So at least 4 years were good for you.
It's the
Good.
last 4 years. So yeah, no, it's not to scare her. It's, how we talk about being witnessed and being observed, and how particles behave differently when they are observed. And I don't, and just because the park police is called and maybe she gets fined and the mother grounds her, that doesn't mean it's going to change her behavior. But her being witnessed, who knows? That to me, that's a universal, action of, we'll see what this girl's path is. She could go to jail for it and then get out and continue stealing.
Well, that's true. And
Yeah.
that is that is the Rebecca identity. The Rebecca is a, yeah, what's right, justice, police. That's Rebecca. So Rebecca was in full force writing that response. At least I know the difference.
That's true. Well, that's a really good story, and it sounds like this woman was really vacillating between what to do about it, and she was vacillating online and asking for what would you have done, what would you have done, and this is really the beauty, quote unquote, beauty of humanity and all these different people with very different backgrounds and perspectives and language and handling it differently. We talked earlier this week, a couple of days ago, about getting it out of other people's business. I mean, we have a very really clear way of doing this, you and me, and we do it a little differently, but a lot of it's really in sync with each other. I really understand how you're doing your transcendence and your spiritual journey, and I do it similarly. And for others that don't or don't use the same language, it doesn't make sense to me because it's not me. It
Yeah.
seems like it really seems like it's wrong. I mean, it seems the ego, it feels threatened by someone else doing it differently than me.
Exactly. Doing it differently, having different thoughts, different behaviors. And let's switch topics. I want to I want to share well, Rebecca made a comment on Instagram, and the comment was pretty extensive. The same Rebecca that wrote this response, the same Rebecca wrote a long, and it was slightly political. It was about the reason for the California fires, and Rebecca listed 7 that have all been quote unquote truth proven, all of that, 7. And the hate, well, not everyone, because there were a lot of maybe 40 comments that agreed, but there were about 5 of them that were just so hateful and mean. And oh, it was really I'm not going to say difficult, but it was uncomfortable reading them. And it just reminds me, Nathan, that this being more out there, being global, and getting all of these, and this was mild. It really, the hate was mild. I mean, because I look, listen to a few people, and these people that are out there globally, they get a lot of hate, and I mean really deep hate. And so I came up with this. This is going to be a chapter in one of the books that I haven't decided if it's going to be the book of questions, which is going to be next, and then the other the book, the program relationships. But I came up with hate is a mental illness. What are your thoughts?
I would agree with that. I don't know if I'd use the exact same words, but I think the energy of hate and the what how I understand mental illness, a, s- a sickness, there's something in my mind. There's a thought or there's a belief in my mind that is sickly to me. It's an illness. It's like a disease. It's eating something. It's eroding something. And hate, I think, does that. I mean, when I think of the energy of hate, I feel like for me, it's making me sickly. And I mean, I really try. Listen, I feel anger. I feel frustration. I'm irritated quite often, actually, especially as for a meditation teacher, yoga teacher, sound healer. I practice as well. There is still anger and there's frustration, but that energy of hate, I think, is a little more extreme. And part of my spiritual practice is to really not entertain that at all. And if I find myself hating with a grudge or something, it's really time to take action, just like I would with any other disease. I would need to go to maybe an emergency room, take care of it right away. So I do
Call
think
your
it's
mother. Call your mother.
right. Well, that is a good idea unless the hate, unless it's you.
Get it. Zing. Well, that was really good.
Zing.
But let me back up a little bit. This is just something that I recently, when I say recently, maybe the last 5 years or so, because I used to hate too. I'm not up here saying, well, I'm, never hated. Love it. I love everyone. And hell no. But there were people that I didn't even meet. People, people that celebrity, whatever you want to call them, that I didn't even know that I hated. Rebecca hated. And at this point, I'm going to have to say that the practice or scratch that, because I'm not pretending that I'm doing anything. It's the universe has graced me with letting go. Even the attorney that I'm suing in appellate court right now, who gifted the family house to the handyman, all of this, even there's no hate for him. No, really, there's no hate. But I did have hate for him. I had hate for him in 2018. I had hate for him in 2019 and maybe 2020, but I can't hate anybody. So when I say can't, it feels uncomfortable to hate to that degree.
Yeah, it does. I think it's a total backfire. I think it doesn't matter if I'm hating someone else, I'm hating myself or something about myself, or a situation like a tragedy, national disaster, uh, anything. It's that energy of hate is really it's I wish my ego wishes that it could justify its hate. Well, I hate them because they did this, or they caused this, or they said this, and it's not right. And it doesn't matter as far as my energy. It still is hating. The universe isn't hearing my story around it. It's just recognizing the feeling of it. And it really, as far as flow goes, and I'll end with this, but I do think that hate is the opposite of flow. Flow feels like acceptance, and not that everything's going exactly the way I want it to, it's just the way it is going. And when I hate, I feel like it's so much resistance towards the way things are flowing.
Yes. And again, if you're listening on Noon Vibe, and thank you for the shout out and the ideas. I mean, we're getting a lot of activity. Thank you for
That's
that
good.
on Noon Vibe. You can also watch us live on YouTube right now on Rebecca Norrington YouTube channel. And again, you're welcome to join the show. You're welcome to come to the stage. We are friendly. He's nicer than I am. Yeah, he is nicer than I am. I'm more. Yeah.
And you know what too, I just want to say, if it's really an emergency for me, if I'm really spinning, because sometimes my anger or frustration I can see it building on itself, where it's just something else, something else, something else, and I see it building. I'm almost seeing red in a way, like steam's coming out of my ears. Then I will, hopefully find a way to contain myself. I mean, physically, like you say, go home, close the door. If I'm driving, stop the car, take a couple breaths, just go in the bathroom, just something to contain myself where I'm not around really anyone else. Because when that egoic hate, mental illness takes over, it's ready to F some shit up. I mean, it really it just wants to it be destructive. And like those comments that you said on social media, those are meant to destruct and destroy and harm. And I don't want to do that, because when I harm shit, now I got to clean it up. I mean, it's just a whole mess.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a topic or something that you wanted to touch or no? Okay, good. Well, I took notes. One of my favorite my favorite teacher right now is Moji. And if you haven't listened to him, you can search him on YouTube, Mooji on YouTube. And the best video is called Must Watch Satsang. Must Watch Satsang, Satsang with Moji. I will not start with your problem. I will start with you. And I advise that you start around 25 minutes in, 25, 27 minutes in. Anyway, yes. So I took notes, and I've listened to this so many times, but the more I listen to it, the more I get out of it. And I took notes. So I wanted to share a couple of notes. One of the things he says, we have been wrongfully labeling opportunities as curses. You are not free without experiencing struggle. Struggle is God's way of helping you to transcend, because if everything is too nice, he says you go to sleep. The greatest transcending is within. The greatest power is within you. The struggle can only, this is a good one, Nathan. The struggle can only exist if you remain as a person. And that's when I talk about knowing the difference between Rebecca and who I am, which is awareness, presence, formless. So the struggle can only exist. The resistance happens, the anger, all of that, or a justification for all of these emotions, not to say not to feel anything, but the struggle, any kind of struggle, only exists if you remain a person. And you are not a person. You are the living embodiment of the Supreme. You must transcend these vices. They are not yours. If you hold on to your person, you're going to have a lot of struggle. And that's transcending the ego, transcending this human identity. Practice transcending it. Do I have it perfect? Hell no. But the practice, and when I let go, scratch that, when I practice letting go and knowing who I really am and not identifying with this person, this life is easy breezy.
Yeah, I'm taking a deep breath at that too. There were so many good little quotes. I was writing a couple of them down. I like that word opportunity. It's a word that I try to remember to use because it's a good word. It's a word that opens my eyes. It gets my curiosity energy going, problem solving energy. And you said instead of curses. And when we talk about curses, all of these things that happen throughout the day that are not our preference, they can feel, I can label it as a curse or I can label it as an opportunity. It's just a little different than what I'm used to, because when I was growing up, I just either from influence or in other people or media, however it was clear to me that this is bad and that is good. This is a curse, this sucks, that doesn't suck. Just like we talked about these reactions, these emotional reactions that are expected. And this it's really quite it's just a shift to think of it as an opportunity, to have discomfort, this, like you said, struggle, and think, okay, what is God, what is the universe giving me with this? Is there must be something I'm being offered here, other than just the discomfort. I say with the discomfort. It's like continuing to unwrap the gift. Don't stop at just the struggle. Just like I love what you said. I think it's the title of the videos. I'm not going to start with the problem. I'm going to start with you.
Yes.
Let's go deeper. What are we really talking about? Because we could sit around and talk about the discomfort for hours or our whole life. But what's a little deeper here, and this transcendence, and I'll end with this, is as a human, I think on the surface, we're just an animal. We're emotional, we are reactive, but I think there's a deeper connection we have, and an opportunity with all of this mental energy we were given, our ability to create languages. I mean, look at what humans have created. It's quite astonishing.
Humans have created nothing, but keep going.
And so, well, I don't see it. I don't see a cheetah, building a skyscraper. I don't see a badger, making a plane, 747. I'm just saying what humans are capable of with our minds, with our bodies, with our fingers, everything is really, really astonishing. So, and it goes to our energy as well, our mental energy and our spiritual energy. And to really honor that as our truth, to flow with that rather than resist it and just be a simpleton.
Well, I get it with when you equated humans to animals. We're different. Humans, consciousness, anyway, all of it. I get it. I get it. But yeah, I'll read it again. We have been wrongfully labeling opportunities as curses, and you said discomfort. And so, who is really saying that this I'll use this as an example, this tight feeling in my body, or this, I used to do this, oh, I'm lonely, that kind of thing. Who says that's uncomfortable? What if I was taught at a very early age, as a little baby, that everything I'm feeling has a purpose, including, and so labeling it discomfort is another judgment.
Well,
Am
I
I-
don't think I know this is getting really nitpicky, but I don't think labeling it discomfort is a judgment. I think saying it doesn't have a purpose is a judgment. I mean, there's a difference if someone's poking you with their fingernail or giving you a hug. They feel different.
I'm not talking about physically. Okay, next topic, because you lost on that one
No,
again.
no, I did. And check in with New Vibes. Check in with YouTube because I know all y'all are on my side with this one.
Well, and again, Noon Vibe, if you want to come to the stage, we have a few minutes left. You're more than welcome to choose sides. And I'm good with being always wrong.
Yeah, right.
So this is a game, this life is a game, this existence is a game of transcending the delusion.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Moving on. Hold on a sec. Oh, here we go. Listen to this, Nathan. I was hit with this genius of idea and thought. You ready? The biggest, what would you say the biggest problem in the world is today? What would you say?
Hmm.
Give me a top five.
This is a tough one. Well, I'll maybe give one or two and see if this is the answer you're looking for. I would say reactivity. Is that what you're looking for?
I'm not looking for any, I'm looking for what you think.
Oh, okay. Top five. Reactivity, not being present, um, listening to the mind to solve problems, um, doing things the same.
What do
Not trying new solutions, new things, and uh, and I would say not prioritizing health.
I have to say something. When I've asked that question before, I always throw out, what is it? Poverty, wars, uh, uh, global warming. Those are the answers I get back mostly. And you are the only person that has given me all of these answers with the spiritual tip. I
Mm.
mean, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I was really looking for, hunger, homelessness, all of that, all of that, and then you pop up with it, and you see why you're my son.
This is why. I mean, listen. We wouldn't be able to do this show without that, and that's really interesting. And I felt I really had to trust whatever came out of my mouth because I felt on the spot. But yeah, thank you for that. I like those answers, and I like that I didn't have take too much time to think about it either.
Wow, no, I'm getting chills from that. And then you're getting a lot of love on Noom Vibe. Oh gosh, thank you, Noom Vibe. Again, if you want to join the show, just ask to come up to the stage. Well, I came up with this, which is did you write yours down? Write those down.
I did. I was jotting it down as I was talking. Yes.
Okay, can you repeat them one more time? Because they were really good.
Yes. Reactivity, not being present, listening to the mind only to solve problems, doing things the same way, and then not taking care of your health.
Okay, hold on a second. We have someone that's coming up here. Peter Carrington. He's a Norrington, but without the Norrington. Hold on, Peter Carrington. Let me get you up here. Joining the show. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Welcome. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes. Welcome
Hey,
to the
Peter,
show.
what's up?
Going. I'm just really loving the exchange between you two. I love the energy, and I've actually taken a peek at you on YouTube, and it's very enjoyable and hilarious at times. And Nate, mom wins. Like, you should know that by now, dude. Like, don't argue.
What, Pete? You were doing so well, Peter, until that last bit. But I know she always wins. We already know that. Thank you for that. Thanks for what you said.
Roger that, bro. Hey, listen. So yeah, I agree with you. I think the I want to say surface level stuff like hunger and war, famine, all that stuff is like I think that is a thing. But what I think it is they're just symptoms. They're symptomatic of the bigger problem, the illusion that we're separate in some way. And when we really look at who we really are, which is not this body, not this mind or these emotions, that we're source energy, I think that clears up a lot of stuff. And it would if more folks knew the truth about it. So.
It's just spot on. I just love it. My body was reacting to what you were saying, Peter. It's just so spot on. I'm glad you jumped in. It's actually nice to hear another voice chime in with us too, saying the same thing but in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just really important to realize that, and I really appreciate you guys coming up and talking about this because, listen, I love dialogue, right? But I also love authentic dialogue, and it doesn't mean every time it has to be deep. It could be surface level, but as long as it's authentic, like that really resonates with this, man. I really enjoy it. So I just want to hop up real quick and say I enjoy you guys. I'll continue to watch, and it is absolutely adorable watching you guys on YouTube. So thanks for having me up.
Thank you
Thanks so much for all that. It's awesome.
Wow, Nathan. Wow.
I know that was really, I'm getting ooey gooeys from that. Was really sweet. And my body was really chilling up at what he was saying. And I really liked that part when he said just the authenticity, and it doesn't even have to be that deep, because that's really, when we talk about the nonsense of this show, there is some value to that nonsense, or whether it's spiritual or whether we're goofing around or poking fun at each other, but coming at it with that authentic. I know that's not one of your words, but just that realness in the moment, connecting. And yeah, I loved all that. That was very nice. Well, see, there's some hate out there, and then there's a lot of love out there too.
Well, let me share with what I came up with, the biggest problem in the world. Well, and when I say
yes, I want to hear you.
Scratch that biggest problem in the world. How about this? Just a big problem. Expectations. Expectations of life, what my life is going to look like, what my life looks like, expectations of others, expectations of circumstances, expectations of behaviors of others, expectations of behaviors of self, expectations of drivers, teachers, politicians, society, looks, weight. I mean, expectations. And when Rebecca's expectations aren't met, Rebecca practices having zero expectations, but I don't even like to, don't listen. But there are still some little expectations of customer service, expectation of everything, expectations. And so I'm putting more of a spotlight for me to practice. How do I, and asking for assistance from the universe, how do I let go all expectations of how a day is going to go. There's a lot of people that you wake up earlier than the sun, exercise, do all these things, ABC, or do all these things before 5 a.m., and you're going to have a good day. That's another expectation. How about dropping the expectations, which is a program? All expectations are a program. And by the way, I forgot to bring this up, but here we go. This is my latest book. It's called Program for Unhappiness: Exposing the Untold Truth. It's on Amazon, and I have in this book I list 56 program behaviors, and one of them is having expectations.
Well, I love what you said. I have a word too, piggybacking off what you said, and then we will wrap this puppy up soon. But my word that was coming to me is control, and that would be, if I had to list one thing or one theme, I would say control, and just to add on to it, control of what we can't control. I mean, listen, I can wake up at 5 a.m. and I can do, yoga and eat well, drink tea. But for me to think that I'm controlling my emotions or controlling the world or controlling someone else's behavior by me doing yoga in the morning is a problem for me. And just like you said, with expectations, I mean, I vacillate with this theme of control all day long, of reminding myself, no, I don't have control over that, no, I don't have control over that, me doing all the things I think I need to do, and then, or like setting myself up for a good night's sleep, trying to control my sleep, and then I don't sleep well, and it really is maddening. I mean, talk about an illness. It is. And then nights when I don't do anything and I sleep well. So just this controlling everything. And I think when we talk about spirituality, this would be it for me, is really letting go of as much of the control over this whole experience and this whole life as possible. And that can be really daunting, but I just do it little pieces at a time.
And to be clear, it's the illusion of control.
The illusion of control. No, thank you.
And your mother asked you 10 years ago. I said, you have your hands on the steering wheel. I said, let go of that steering wheel. You have no control. And then a year later, you said, oh, I've got 9 fingers on the steering wheel. My pinky's up. And then I always ask you, how many fingers do you have on the steering wheel? And you still have, and I'm telling you right now, let go of the steering wheel. Surrender, Stephen. Surrender, Stephen. That's from Doctor Strange 2016, which is a marvelous movie. It's Matrix 2. Surrender, Nathan. Surrender. You have no control. The illusion of control. Tell Nathan, the ego, surrender.
Well, I tried, and this is why she doesn't even ask me that anymore, because I really tried to control her never even asking me that steering wheel question. It was so annoying. Every conversation was how many fingers you have on, how many fingers. And how I like to roll is 5 fingers on, 5 fingers off. That's my jam. That's my flow.
Well, one of these days you're going to catch up to your mother, and you're going to have no hands on the steering wheel, and you're going to have a great ride. Maybe another year, 5 years, who knows? You'll catch up.
No hands on the steering wheel driving. That makes so much sense. Anyway, that's our show. And thank you for joining. Thanks for Peter. That was great to have a little guest spot coming in. And I really felt the truth of all of that, what he said. And any closing words here?
Yes, you do not have control. No one does. This is all of the divine plan. Can you just let go of the steering wheel and enjoy the ride? Happiness is a practice skill.
Yes, and you can let go of your own steering wheel. Here we go.
Hey, yo, it's time to go. Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? What I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more.
Now it's over.
Now let's listen.